But the thing that I mostly was struggling with this week that I want to touch on is lack of progress or perception of lack of progress. And I see this a lot with clients, and it's something that I had to kind of stop and say to myself, if I was my client, what would I tell myself? Normally, I'm not at this calorie level, this low of calories, until 6 weeks or less. And I dropped my calories at 10 weeks. I want to be leaner this time around, and I just really would rather come in earlier rather than like at the last minute waiting for that last bit of fat to come down. So I dropped calories earlier and, did start seeing a little bit of results, and then felt like, okay, things are slowing down. What's going on? Maybe my calories are too low. I've been working out really hard because I also added workouts and increased my training. I started playing a little head game with myself. Like, maybe I need more food. Maybe if I eat more, I'll lose weight, And the fact of the matter is, I've always had to drop this low. Every show I've ever done, by the end, at least the last month, I have to go usually under 1100. And that's just because I'm small. My body weight for stage is like 105 pounds or less, usually about 103 on actual stage day. And I, have a slow metabolism because I have thyroid disease. So the truth is, I really can't eat a lot of calories. And I'd like to eat more. I'm always hungry, and I'd love to think that that's why. And maybe if I bump up, then the weight will start coming off. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you really know what's going on. So I sat down today and said, okay, let's take a look back at how my weight is usually dropped. Where were my calories for different shows? When did the weight loss happen? And my body seems to respond after about 4 weeks is what I'm noticing. 4 weeks of a calorie change to where I get that response. I changed my calories 2.5 weeks ago is when I lowered my calories. I had to stop and say to myself, it's been 2.5 weeks. If I had a client, and in fact I've had clients, we change their calories, or maybe they start their workout program or their diet program, and at 2.5 weeks they come to me and say, this isn't working. I'm not losing weight. What should I change? I should decrease my calories. I would say you need to give it more time. It's not going to happen right away. It takes your body a little bit of time to appreciate that energy balance and respond. So I kind of had to smack myself upside the head today and say to myself, it's been 2.5 weeks. Keep your calories the same, keep the workouts that you've been doing, and give it at least another week and a half. Give it to the end of August, at which point will be, 2 more weeks? So about 5 or 6 weeks out to when I would do another calorie decrease. The leaner you are, the less change there's going to be. It's going to be a lot more subtle, and it just happens super, super gradually. So I'm being impatient. I'm not being a very good client of myself. When it's yourself, you do sometimes second guess it. If I were my own client, I would tell myself, keep doing what you're doing, keep being consistent, let's give it another week and a half, let's see what the scale does. I think you're probably going to see some pretty good results after 4 weeks at this calorie level, and then if we feel we need to drop it, we'll go from there. So the message this week is consistency and patience. Trust the process.